Do you support the amalgamation of Nelson City and Tasman District?
I think in many ways that's yesterday's question. We know that there's significant local government reform already happening and on its way. Yes, the barriers in splitting up an urban area into two different councils does not make sense, but the way we move forward and deliver from that, I think is going to be something more dynamic and more interesting than simply amalgamation.
I think long-term amalgamation is the right future for Nelson and Tasman, but the devil is in the detail. Previously, there has been ham-fisted attempts at forcing an amalgamation of the two councils. We need to work through the issues of three waters, of the changes in the Resource Management Act and the planning laws, as well as the future of local government. And my ambition is to get a really good outcome for our region that positions local government far more strongly for the next generation.
Look, I think amalgamation is almost one of yesterday's questions. So many changes are taking place in local government. So three waters, the replacement of the RMA and the processes around it in terms of a lot more regional decision making still remains to be seen exactly what the details are. But the future of local government inevitably is going to change the way that local government is delivered across the country. Whether that results in combinations of councils or actually a significant change in the entire service delivery model remains to be seen. Philosophically, I've always supported amalgamation. The challenge has always been the details of the models that have been proposed. So, yeah.
I certainly do. Yep.
Yes, I do. I think the prime consideration there is TDC's residents were in the past against the amalgamation. I think they had very genuine reasons about lack of representation towards a new group because they thought it would be on a population base. I think if both groups could get together and form a new council based on geographical areas, so that areas like Murchison, Takaka, Motueka could get people onto the council rather than just a population base, which would primarily give you main seats to Nelson and Richmond and exclude these rural areas. Yes, I fully support the amalgamation. It's quite important that we acknowledge the things that both Nelson City Council and Tasman currently do. They share an airport together. The Port Nelson, they share a regional sewerage scheme together, they share a landfill together, and really it's just about there together. I think the amalgamation is quite important from the future of staffing arrangements. TDC is short of staffing accommodation. They're proposing to build a new complex. Nelson City Council, by the looks of it and what you see in the paper about their buildings, look like it's past its use-by date. It would make sense with the Local Government Act changing, and I'm sure the government will encourage people to amalgamate, and I fully support it.
I think amalgamation's a good idea. It's taken me a while to get my head around it and to get to that point, but I look at what happened with the Provincial Growth Fund and shovel-ready funding during COVID, and I don't think this region got enough money out of the government on both those occasions. And I think if we were working as one, if we had one voice, we would have done better. So I think in terms of attracting investment and just really telling our story, we will be in a stronger position if we are one region.
With conditions, the condition being that the outlying areas, including Nelson City, are assured that they won't be lost in the greater scheme of things like has happened in Auckland. I think that's a very big negative in terms of what local government's supposed to be in Auckland. I would say very few people in Whanuapai would know where to go to a council meeting.
I haven't in the past, but it's something with a lot of things that have been happening in the development of especially Richmond, Wakefield, Brightwater, Mapua and development at Nelson. I think there's some real synergies for an amalgamation there, maybe more of a governance like we do for Saxton facilities and we do for the sewage business unit, maybe an amalgamation of our governance.